Sip. How's your day?
It wasn't too bad. Pretty distracted right now, spending a lot of time trying to digest March Madness.
Okay.
Um, I think I watched a cumulative 0 minutes of college basketball this season.
That'll be
Um,
tough.
so that'll be tough. So I've been, you know, cramming podcasts and just anything just to latch onto to help build a bracket because I have no idea. But I almost feel like this might be the most prepared I've ever been for a season because you always hear the stories about the people that win. And they're like, oh, yeah, my friend's wife just picked the mascot she thought were the cutest, or
Uh-huh.
she, picked this upset because she liked purple over green or whatever it might be. And those people end up going far. So I'm just saying this was my plan all year, all along.
So this is your I'm going to stereotype here. You are
Please.
the middle-aged woman at your office right now.
Yes.
The one that doesn't really give a shit
Mm-hmm.
about college basketball, yet is somehow in the top 5 once
Yeah.
we get to the Elite 8. It's like, I don't know. I had fun. You're like,
Yeah. She's super sweet.
fuck you, Sharon, dude. Fuck you. The lemon bars you brought in are amazing, but
Fantastic.
fuck you, dude.
Thanks
Fuck
for remembering my birthday.
You're the only one,
Yeah,
actually.
only one.
But can you please fuck right off?
What are you looking at this year for March Madness? What's your readiness level? Because it starts tomorrow, and here's the thing: whether you watch, it's such a fantastic spectacle of sport
Mm-hmm.
that, like, I love basketball. College basketball, it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Why is that?
I don't love the way that the game is necessarily played visually. So what I mean by that is, like, it's college basketball is basically dominated by if you have good guards or if you don't can dictate the entire aspect of the game. With the 3-point line being shrunk in, there's less room to operate inside like the paint area, and it's basically like back to the basket or 3-point, which is fine. But I mean, the NBA is just the best of the best players, which I like watching. And of course, you're going to now get that international crop too, which is really leading the NBA.
What's that like? Just give me an above average, not great, but like pretty decent field goal percentage in the NBA.
46.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on your position too. Because, like,
Just
if you're a center
average.
who's,
Just like a
yeah,
team
yeah,
average. Okay. All right. So then it is about similar. Because what I was trying to understand is the field goal percentage higher in the NBA than it is in college? And I'd say,
no, yeah,
it's about the same.
it's the level of difficulty. But I think what's fun about March Madness is these teams that, like, the mid majors, actually have a place to play in this, which is really fun. So
Yeah.
I guess to prepare for today, wrote some questions down. This actually kind of leads into one, so I kind of want to just go right into it.
Dude, we're crushing it.
So for March Madness, why do you think, as opposed to like college football, there's actually a place for mid majors in the sport? Obviously there's a larger pool of players. Actually, I don't know if that's necessarily true. There's more teams in college basketball, I guess. Why is it that these teams that are mid majors can compete in college basketball as opposed to in the NCAA for football?
Well, I think there's some basic things that boil down to it, and then there's some more I don't know if extrapolated causation is the kind of the direction I'm going with that, but the basic fundamentals as to why is there's less people on the court and less people impacting the game at one given time. So that would mean that an impact player, has the ability to have a more impact to the flow of the game, the result of the game, and the competitiveness of the team. So, you know, you get one really good hidden gem that we all know about these guys in football that like Eric Fisher, is top pick from CMU, and like there's just a lot of these players that coming out of the MAC, for instance. I'm just going to use that example because I feel like it's the most tangible to the NFL. Like these guys that are coming out of these smaller schools, that they're really really good players, first round draft picks, top 10 draft picks at times, but they don't necessarily they're not able to impact their team as much in football,
Sure.
right? Which is why like a CMU would never be able to like upset an Alabama or something like that in a round one of the playoffs. Um, that's not the case in college basketball. If you hit on a recruiting gem or somebody that just, maybe they didn't test well or whatever, and they just come to your school and they pop off in basketball, that is, somebody that can, have a significant impact into the result of the game. So there's that. I also think that the game of basketball allows itself for more games comparatively to football. Um, Football is much more strenuous on the body. There's a lot more that goes into the recovery from a football game, which is why, even going from a Sunday night or a Sunday game to a Thursday game just, 4 sleeps later is tough.
Yeah.
And, you even hear players complaining about it, or, people citing player safety as a reason as to why that should not exist. So there's that. Um, Whereas in basketball, they play more games already in the schedule, and thus, less rest time is a pretty apparent reason as to why. So that allows for the field to be bigger for a tournament, allows more games to be played. Obviously, added revenue also contributes to that by making it what it is. But I think those are the two like fundamental reasons. The other stuff is like recent stuff to where like transfer portal, which impacts the first statement, like that type of stuff now is elevating these mid-major teams, and I think we're even at a point where I don't know that there's been a better product for college basketball. Maybe like mid to late 2000s was pretty sick when you had all these like rock star one and dones. I think of
Yeah.
Kentucky in that time period, right? Like that was pretty fucking sweet too. But I think just I don't know that there's been a better era of college basketball than what we're getting right now, because there is so much. The playing field is so level. There's so
Yeah.
much good. I don't necessarily want to go out and say like there's so many good players and there's so much good basketball, but there's such good competition throughout the entirety of D1 men's college basketball right now. And I think that that is just so fun for the fans. I'm enjoying the hell out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, what do you why on your
Well,
end
I
is
mean,
it?
no. I mean, just to touch on a couple of the things, I mean, you said there, I mean, to go back, to the beginning, what's funny is it's the inverse in college as it is to the pros, where in the pros, in basketball, you need a top 10 guy really to have a chance at the championship. And it seems that can be the case in college football as well. Um, but what's interesting is when you flip that, for like the NFL, there's so many guys who have been like who you could say is like a top 10 player in the league
Mm,
doesn't
hmm.
even have a chance at winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah,
It really does. The NFL really, you need an entire team to win, and of course, you're going from what 100 college football teams to 32 in the pros,
mm,
and with college, what's interesting, the other point I thought that you touched on is like the one and dones. How interesting would it be if you flipped the dynamic for college football and college basketball, right? So college football, you have like all these one and dones, and I know that's not how they do it, but like
yeah, yeah,
imagine like the Alabamas, the Ohio States, like whoever it is, their team is just full of like these stud freshman sophomore types. But then you have these teams that are like been together seniors,
yeah,
and like that's typically what you see in March Madness is, these mid-major teams that are stocked with seniors and juniors that have been playing together, for so long, and
yeah,
you can really win basketball that way, especially against inexperienced teams.
yeah,
As freshmen, they might have all the talent in the world, but basketball is an interesting sport where you know it all moves as one. So I don't know. I think it's interesting that it's kind of like the reverse in the pros and college between the two.
And I think that, kind of gets another point is like college is, or at least basketball as a sport is a sport to where, um, obviously, like momentum is such a big part of most sports, football included in that. But basketball is a sport to where the changing of possession is so rapid that I almost feel like momentum has a bigger impact in the game.
Yeah.
It's like you can ride that wave a lot longer, right? Whereas like football, every time you score, you're giving it back to them, same as in basketball, but the possession is much longer, which gives opportunity for that momentum to subside, which is, I think, why in basketball you can see multiple momentum swings, and often basketball is obviously a game of runs at times. It's just which ones are longer and more impactful, and who has the last one, right?
Yeah.
Where football, yeah, that can happen for sure. Like a team can just come out of the locker room in the second half and just blow the doors off and ride the momentum all the way to victory. But basketball is such a faster version of that, that I think that allows for opportunities for these smaller schools to just get a
Mhm.
game on somebody. That's all you just got to beat them once. You just
Right.
beat them once, and then you build off of that, and maybe that next round matchup is actually a better matchup for you, even if it is a higher seed or something like that. But you're just kind of matching up better with the way that your roster's built, and then that's how these runs happen. Or I saw a Barstool article today that is if you have a phallic mascot like Oral Roberts or
I
the
I
Peacocks.
I heard about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that would lead to Longwood upsetting Houston.
Oh boy, I like it. I like it. Do you
I
have
know
any
because
like?
I have Houston winning.
Oh, you have Houston winning the whole thing. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's get into that then. You've got Houston winning the whole thing. Is there like a big upset that you're like, I'm locked in on this one?
There's a couple teams that yeah, I have I have two brackets. I have like a home league bracket and
Okay.
then one for work. Which is like 100 plus people. So that's
Yeah.
um the other one's like 15, 20. A lot of it comes down to, as you have to pick the champion basically to win a pool. Like that's how it is.
It
And
helps
you have to
unless
pick it
no one else did.
or you have to pick in variation. So
Yeah.
my thought process behind it was they're the number 2, number 1 overall seed. Um and Connecticut's obviously going to be the sexy pick. I
Yeah.
also think
25% of people are taking UConn.
Yeah, I also think when you look at the brackets, I think Houston has the path of least resistance to get there. And I actually I had a bracket pulled up, but while we're talking through it, um, and then I think we can maybe go over some
Houston
Final
has
Four teams if
Arizona
you
in
want
their
to.
bracket, don't they?
No, that's
That's Purdue.
yeah, they're number. God, who's their 2 seed?
Is it Marquette?
Marquette, I think.
Yeah.
Let me
Yeah.
pull it up. Yeah. What stands out to you?
So one of my favorite upsets, and it's just a feeling. It's really it. I got Colgate over Baylor in the opening round.
That's so funny. I love it. I've picked them like the last 4 years or 3 years
They've burned you.
they've burned me. So this will be the year. So you're welcome.
Thank you, Aaron. Thank you so much. The thing is, I wouldn't have Baylor going that far anyway, so it felt like
Right.
a
So go
safe
with
one,
I get that.
the one that's not going to just fuck my bracket all to hell. I do have Houston exiting in the second round, unfortunately, in my bracket. So I know you hope I'm wrong on that. Um, just a feeling. Didn't like the way that they ended the Big 12 championship. I also Houston, if they get cold on offense, I worry a lot.
Yeah.
And teams that get to March Madness usually are pretty solid defensive teams. Um, like these mid-major ones, like these teams that get in on a conference tournament win, you usually get in because you have good defense.
Sure.
That was kind of the theme of picking. I actually I don't have a single number one seed in my Final Four. I think that
Interesting.
is that's kind of indicative to where college basketball is right now, because I feel like you could make an argument for teams all the way, I think, through the 4 seeds to win this thing this year. And I would listen to it. I think it, likely be valid. Um, I've got Marquette going to the Final Four.
Okay.
I have Arizona.
You and I actually have a lot of variance.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We'll get into it, but
I've got Marquette taking out my Gators in the second round.
okay.
So yeah, Marquette, Arizona. I've actually got my highest seed is a 3 going to the Final Four. I've got Creighton coming out and going to the Final Four, and then Iowa State, Big 12 champs. I've got them going to the Final Four, and I've actually got Iowa State and Marquette facing off in the national championship game, with Marquette winning this one.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we definitely have some variance here, and I'm trying to pull up.
That's fantastic. Because one of us is going to be really happy, and one of us is going to be really really sad. And
Somehow it'll split the middle,
yeah, right.
because that's just how March works, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah,
nothing
fair
we
enough.
can do about it. So let's see here. I have some of the teams that I'm high on. I have one of my brackets. I have St. Mary's in the Final Four. I think
I
you
have
got it as
them.
kind of,
I've got them in the Elite Eight.
okay. So you had mentioned,
Got to pull my bracket
and you
up.
know what? I did stick with Colgate for one of them, because I was like,
Attaboy.
I'm doing 2 of them. I'm not going to finally get against it. I still don't think it's going to happen. I got BYU going to the Elite Eight against UConn. Houston, Kentucky in the Elite Eight. One of my brackets, I have Purdue winning.
Okay.
I think UConn is probably, I mean, of course, the most likely to win, but part of
Yeah,
the reason you just kind of have to pick against who the number one is, just for the sake of having a chance of winning the pool.
I get it. Yeah, like just playing the odds there. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are. It benefits you for them to lose, and
So because I didn't watch a ton of college basketball this year, I went 3 number ones and then picked a team I thought has a chance as a lower seed to get there in St. Mary's.
wow. Okay. And I mean, to be honest, all of these number ones are really strong. Like they all have a lot of really good, qualities. That's why they're a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. So, I mean, it wouldn't be crazy. It wouldn't be crazy, but I just think there's so much variance. Like I got obviously we both have St. Mary's taking out North Carolina in the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I've actually got Colgate going to the Sweet 16, getting favorable matchups against Baylor and then Clemson, and then losing, just hitting, like, I kind of have them as my Cinderella as a 14, and then just getting
Wait,
steam.
who was that again? I'm sorry.
Colgate.
Colgate. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Colgate in the Sweet 16, then just getting absolutely steamrolled
I know 10
uh,
dentists approve.
by Arizona. Let's see, in the South, I do have Houston going out in the second round. I know you have them as your national champ. I got them going out in the second round to Texas A&M. I've got the Badgers of Wisconsin making that to the Sweet 16 as well, knocking out the Dukies on the way.
I like that. It's interesting because they're playing James Madison, and it seems like a ripe 5-12, with James Madison being the 31-3 team.
Yeah. No, I think a lot of people are taking James Madison to take this upset.
Because there's a lot of those just like little rules when you're filling out a bracket, where it's like you got to pick a 5-12,
Yeah.
right? And then last year, all the 5s won, which
Here's
of course is not typical, but it's not to say it's foolproof.
No, absolutely. Here's the juice on this game currently as it's sitting right now. It was Wisconsin with a actually this looks like it's frozen on my end now. I was reading the totals on that one. My bad. I'll pull up the line on that one because I feel like there has been a lot of talk about James Madison taking this one. Are they playing tomorrow or on Friday? Do you know?
Let's pull it up here. They are playing Friday.
Where is this line at? Wisconsin. Wisconsin. I don't have it right here. Oh, here we go. Jamie, Wisconsin -5, -215 money line Wisconsin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I feel good about them. I think if they can get past this first round, they can. I think they can beat Duke as well, but I do have them getting shut down by Texas A&M. I've actually got Texas A&M going to the Elite Eight. Nice little run for a 9 seed as well.
I like
Um,
that. I think I have them. I have them in the Elite Eight, losing to Houston. So the
okay.
one I read you off before, I got signed into the one I'm doing for work, which I'm
Guys, what's
playing
up, buddy?
as my because if you do multiple, you got to pick one,
Yeah.
as like your actual bracket.
Hmm.
So that's the one I'm going with. I'm riding with you on Texas Tech, so we can root for them together.
A&M.
Um, A&M. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So no,
I
we
get,
cannot.
yeah, I got A&M beating Houston actually. So, um, my favorite Sweet 16 matchup is Kentucky Marquette. I think that is just has the destiny of being a fantastic basketball game.
Yeah, I'm
Ken-
fading Marquette here, so I don't
wh-
think I have in either
why?
one. I don't think I
Why
have
is
them.
that?
Shaka Smart, um,
It's a really good
tournament
coach.
record. Yeah, he hasn't been in the tournament. I don't
Didn't he
know.
take VCU to like 3 Elite Eights?
Another interesting fact I saw. So again, we were talking about the 5-12 matchups, right? It's
Mm.
something like 19 of the last 19 years or something like that. All 4 2 seeds have not made the Sweet 16. So you
All 4 twos have not made the Sweet
right,
16.
all 4 of them at the same time. So you kind of have to pick a
Interesting.
2 to fade.
Okay.
I chose Marquette. And
Okay.
sometimes it's just a gut feeling, right? And you got to just
Hmm.
ride with that. Um, I think Tennessee fits that bill. I mean, frankly, they all fit the bill,
You
right?
know, you know what my now that we're talking about it,
I love how I'm
um,
talking in absolutes. As I said like 20 minutes ago, it's like I've watched zero college basketball.
yeah,
I
right.
am the internet personified.
I wonder what the percentage of 2 seeds, like, I wonder what percentage of 2 seeds make the Final Four, though. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
rather, what I'm saying is, of the Final Four, how oftentimes is there a 2 seed in the Final Four?
right.
I wonder what that is because I have 3 2 seeds in my Final Four, and I think that was kind of my strategy. Is I feel like one of these teams is going to make it.
Yeah. Some other interesting ones I came across while doing my cram research. No team west of Texas has won the national championship since like the 90s.
Right.
The Mountain West is historically bad. They have 6 teams. However, they San Diego State represented them in the what championship last year. Um,
Yep.
so you know those trends can fade as well. So just some interesting stuff. We always talk about the 5-12 thing, but when you're building a bracket, especially for somebody, I would say most of the people that fill out brackets are not experts. It's the fun thing about it is it's a fun thing to do to follow along, even if you don't really pay attention. You can kind of you know the team names. You can look at the records, everything like that. Who are the key teams they beat? Who are the key teams they lost to? So looking at that, it does make it fun, to have something to grab onto to watch for these extended 3-4 weeks
Yeah.
of basketball. I love it. I think it's one of the best sporting events of the year, which is saying something because again, I don't think college basketball is. I mean, where do you think it ranks nationally?
Did this is a beautiful question. So I want you to do this, and this is what I've got prepared for you tonight.
Okay.
We are going to decide what is the greatest championship sport event in sports
Oh,
right now tonight.
not just an American.
So we've got a play-in game selected by me. I am the seating committee. Um,
Oh, you built a bracket for this.
kind of. I'm gonna kind of just go off the cuff. Rob, thanks for dropping by, buddy. I'm gonna kind of go off the cuff here. All right. So the play-in game to get into this Elite Eight. I believe I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I've got 9. So the play-in game to get into the Elite Eight. College football playoffs versus the Olympics.
I mean, I'm taking the Olympics.
Taking the Olympics. All right, the Olympics are in. We've got the
Es-
Olympics in.
Especially because historically the college football championship has not been great.
Fair argument.
It used to just be awarded. It was 1 versus 2. We've expanded it, and now we're moving into a 12, which is great, but we haven't seen it yet. You got to go with the Olympics. It's the oldest event, sporting event. That's
Love
that's
it.
easy.
Love it. All right. Love it. Love it. All right. Next one. I've got the Kentucky Derby
Okay. Oh,
versus
God.
the World Series.
there's a I have such a stupid question written down, and there's no way it could segue. I was like, well, I'll just have to bring this up randomly. I will table it, but we can. So Kentucky Derby or World Series?
Kentucky Derby or World Series?
I'm gonna go with the World Series. Kentucky Derby is great. Has not aged well. People are much more animal conscious, I would say, today.
As they
It
order
does seem
McDonald's.
it does seem like a very elitist event. Um, Obviously, it is. Um, but the
Not on
World
that
Series also
infield, baby.
the World Series, they equally have their history, but I think, you know, I can sit here and tell you about who won the World Series in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. And I don't think I can talk to you about the horses from that era.
You
Were they
can't, but
doping?
people can. People
Yeah.
definitely can.
Do you think the Derby had a steroid era?
It's in it.
Yeah.
It's in it right now. That it's happening right this second.
In stable 3, Barry Bonds.
Yeah, dude. Basically, that happened, dude.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know why we were bowling. It was me, Katie, and my in-laws, and we're bowling, and it was Derby day. And I was like, all right, Derby's on. I download a sports or a horse betting app, and I'm just like, I don't care what the horse is, what the odds are. I'm finding a horse trained by Bob Baffert, and I'm picking it to win. Bob Baffert, of course, the white-haired gentleman, always in the stylish shades and suits at the Kentucky Derby. And
Of course.
the horse's name was Medina Spirit. I said, okay, I'm taking Medina Spirit to win. Here we go. We're watching the race. Here it goes. Medina Spirit wins the fucking Kentucky Derby. Okay. Once that happens, had no intention of continuing to use this horse betting app. I cashed out, got a check mailed to me. It was processed. We were good to go. A week later, Medina Spirit gets fucking disqualified for doping in the Kentucky Derby. And that check showed up 3 days after that. And I cashed that motherfucker ASAP.
Yeah, you did.
ASAP. It was phenomenal.
Very smart.
It was
Smart
phenomenal.
man.
Oh, it was a great time.
So
okay.
Hold on, as we're
Yeah.
sidetracked here, but we're gonna get back to the bracket here.
Yep.
But there's no other there. You'll understand in a second. There will
Okay.
never be a better chance to ask this question.
All right, bring it on.
You're familiar with centaurs?
Centaur. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. If a centaur were to enter the Kentucky Derby, would it have to register as a horse or a jockey?
Ooh. How would it be running? Would it be riding or running?
It's a centaur.
It's going to be doing the running.
Yeah.
It's the horse. It's a horse.
It's got horse legs.
I just making sure you're saying it's not going to also board a horse. That's just because that's the differentiation for me.
Well, no one would pick that one to win. It'd be a combined 1,000 pounds.
Hypothetically, you could throw a jockey on top of a centaur.
Hypothetically, but would you need to?
I think you would. I think that would be part of the deal. You can't have unjockeyed bovine creatures.
I don't think you need to get too technical into it.
Gallivanting around. You can't be.
He walks up, and they have the sign in for the jockeys, and I'm assuming some ink stamp.
It would be almost a disadvantage to not have a jockey, right? Like, because that's who gets all the credit. Well, not necessarily. The horse lives on forever.
I don't know. We've never had a Kentucky Derby champion who can also talk.
It's true. That would be big news.
Centaur enters the Kentucky Derby.
He's a horse.
See, it's the horse. I agree.
Yeah, it's a horse. 100%.
Except it'd be the worst name. You'd be like,
50%.
In stable 8, it's Dave.
Hey, how's it going? Just ripping a fucking dart.
Just yeah.
Just
You're like, I
smoking a
got it with his
cig.
hoof. How would he do it? He's just got his.
They have arms.
Oh
Centaurs
yeah.
have arms. They're just
Wait.
fucking.
No, they're horse with.
Yeah, they have horse
Yeah, I guess they
legs
have
and
arms. You're right.
arms
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
torso.
Yeah, you're right. That's
6
6 appendages.
appendages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I
they're
don't know.
smoking a cigarette.
As you can see
Yeah,
now, when would have been a better chance to ask that question? I'm sorry to cut off.
Oh, that's amazing.
the
It's
bracket.
perfect. I love that question. I love it's fantastic. Thank you. So, which brings me to an important question I had to ask you, Aaron. Which one would you say is more influential as somebody, a child of the 90s? Somebody we were born in the 90s, more so molded by the early 2000s, one would say. Would they not?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say which one would you say was more impactful to that aspect of your life? Would you say Creed or 9/11?
Well, I think like every kid in this country can remember they will remember to a T the day that they first heard Creed.
Yeah, dude, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Thank you. Let's get back to this bracket here. So
Mom made French toast that morning. I remember it vividly. And then with arms wide open.
Yes, absolutely.
And then if I recall correctly, they canceled school the next day too because of the Creed album.
Yep.
And,
still got papers of the Creed album in my mom's basement, laminated for sure.
I just love every Thanksgiving when that just resurfaces the Creed at Dallas Cowboys, for the Thanksgiving game.
Yeah.
It might be the greatest live event of all time.
Bar none, greatest Thanksgiving halftime show of all time. Like, it's not even close, right?
I don't know who. I think it's first, second, and third.
I don't think you can name another one, really. I already forgot who did it this year. See?
I don't know.
Point proven. All right, moving on. Moving on. We've got the Masters.
Great.
Versus the NBA Finals.
Can I ask a question about something that to ask if an event is or isn't on this tournament?
Okay, you'd be able to see the bracket if you're filling it out. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just asking specifically because did you include the Ryder Cup?
I did not.
So if I could, I would replace the Masters with the Ryder.
No, insane. You're insane.
The Ryder Cup is
not bigger than the Masters. It's not.
Oh yeah, it is. For
no way. No, not for the players. No way.
You don't think so?
You ask any golfer which one they would rather win. There's zero golfers saying that they would rather win the Ryder Cup.
Yeah,
I guess
Masters. from a championship event though. I mean, here's the thing. I'm taking the Masters and
driving me to drink.
You're welcome. Oh come on, dude! The Ryder Cup is amazing.
No. Let me be clear. What I'm not saying is the Ryder Cup is not a big deal. It is a big deal, and people want to win it for sure. But the Masters is the number one event in golf.
Yeah, but there's something about events that are like it's every 3 years. Like the World Cup. Would you argue is better than like winning
on this list?
Premier
it's on this list. The World Cup is on this list.
Okay.
All right, so you're taking the Masters.
We're taking the Masters here. Yeah. I mean, it was NBA playoffs, right?
NBA Finals.
NBA Finals, fantastic. It can get a little stale when you have, because like we were talking about when we were talking about like college basketball to the pros. If you don't have a top 10 guy, you're not going to win. You end up getting these, you've had the Warriors forever. Obviously the Bulls in the 90s. Not that that's not great, but it gets stale. I'm going to take the Masters here.
Okay. The Super Bowl or Wimbledon?
Super Bowl.
moving on.
Hey, Wimbledon, congratulations for being on the list. That's the 16 seed that's happy to be there.
It is. It is. I
You
had to
know,
get a tennis sport involved in this.
they
Had to
shake the
get a.
hands with like 5 minutes to go because they're it's 88-42.
Absolutely. Had to get the Super Bowl in there. Let's see what else do we have here. We've got the final matchup before we move on um is the World Cup
Mm-hmm.
versus the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, it's got to be World Cup.
Okay.
Stanley Cup has its rightful place as greatest trophy in sports. Congratulations to the NHL for that.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, from an event standpoint, it's hard to compete with the whole world,
Yeah.
especially at the sport that is played the most across the world.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. From here, I've got World Cup versus Olympics.
Interesting. Interesting. I guess
Because
it depends.
yeah, I'm making
I
this
guess
up as I go.
I guess it depends on your flair and cup of tea. So I would say the World Cup is probably more fanatic, of course, than the
Mm-hmm.
Olympics. But I still got to go the Olympics.
Okay.
I mean, you have winter and summer.
Yeah, but
You have
which one do you watch more of, would you say?
the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So and I think summer Olympics are better than winter
Summer are better,
Olympics.
but I actually had a really good time last Winter Olympics watching all the snowboarding, the high ski
Snowboarding's
jumps,
cool.
the
The snowboarding's cool. Are you
hockey is pretty
watching
cool. Dude,
the
just sitting down on a Sunday at 3 o'clock, just be like hand halfway down your pants, pulling a bob, and just curlings on while you yourself could be sweeping the house. You're like, "Ugh,
I'm
you
gonna
got
learn
brush
this
better,
game.
bud."
Yeah, and I do learn a lot about other
Idiot.
sports
Yeah,
as I'm
I
like I don't know. I didn't know a whole lot about curling. I feel like I learned a little bit like strategically about what to do. Like, oh, this guy seems to be scraping exceptionally hard at times and not.
and
What's
the
all this all
thing too,
about?
the other thing too with the Olympics is you get the added benefit of multiple sports, multiple seasons.
Hmm.
Soccer even used to be a part of the Olympics. I think it's still. I don't know. I
Golf
don't think
is. That's
golf
pretty cool.
is right, but like even basketball. Like I'm so looking forward to the next Olympics
Yeah.
because you have Jokic, Luca, Wemby, like guys who are like top people in the
Yeah.
NBA
Yeah.
representing their countries. Like it's not a shoe in for the USA to win like it's always been. It's going to be competitive and fun.
It is gonna be fun. No, I like that. Yeah, that'll be cool. Swimming is always pretty cool because we beat the shit out of people in swimming. That's tight. Track is pretty cool sometimes when you can catch like the big like the 4x4s and stuff like that. Those are pretty sweet.
Yeah. It's nice
Um,
because it's in and out for 2 weeks, and then I
yeah,
never wanna think about swimming again,
yeah.
and then right when it comes back around, it's like, "Yeah, fuck yeah, dude."
Plus, you just got to put it on. You got to put it on for your country. Put
Yeah.
it on for your
It
country.
does you
Put
do
it
feel
on
this
for your
weird sense
country.
of pride.
Yep. Fuck yeah. It's not weird, Aaron. Is that weird? No, I don't think so.
I mean,
These colors don't run, man.
well, they do in track.
Dude, greatest country on earth. Not even close. All right,
So,
next.
yeah, we're gonna go Olympics over World
Okay,
Cup and maybe a little bit of an upset.
I think so. I think so. Absolutely. All right, next one. We've got this is the final four here. We got Super Bowl, Olympics, World Series, Masters in the final four, Aaron. Um final four matchup. We've got the World Series versus the Masters.
We go with the Masters,
Wow.
and
Beautiful.
it's tough to go up against something called the World Series when the Masters actually is the World Series.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
everybody from it's just a funny name, and that's
It
not why I'm
isn't.
picking
Yeah.
it. But no, I think baseball has fallen. I have tuned in more for the Masters over the last 10 years than I have the World Series.
I would agree with that.
I think is what that comes down to in it
I would
for a
agree with
pick.
that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Next, we've got the Super Bowl taking on the Olympics. This is a tough one, Aaron.
I'm going with the Olympics.
What the fuck.
I don't think you
Okay.
understand how. Like
Okay.
the
I think
dude,
you are exceptionally high on the Olympics. I think you are
you're
more so than the
but
norm.
the category is greatest championship like
Uh-huh.
event series, right? The
Yes.
Super Bowl isn't even the best week of the playoffs for the NFL.
Dude, let me
The
tell you
Super Bowl.
this. Why the Olympics is not as big. Let me tell you this. Because there are literally hundreds of medals given out. Dare I say thousands of medals given out. There's only one trophy. There's only one trophy in the Super Bowl. That's the Lombardi trophy.
Corey,
And in
every
my
4 years, the world gets together
uh-huh.
over sports.
Yep.
It's
And
the
sport
entire
adjacent
world.
activities.
No, there's sports activities.
I'm just kidding. Go on.
The Super Bowl is great, but you're locking your. I think it's a very. I mean, it's a very Americanistic viewpoint. Like, obviously, the Super Bowl is gigantic, but it is such an
Uh-huh.
American sport. The Olympics has everything. I'm not.
Yes.
Here's the thing. I am not saying I wouldn't rather
Who wins
watch
the
the Super
Olympics?
Bowl.
Who
I'm
wins
not
the
saying I wouldn't
Olympics
rather
almost
watch
every
the
time?
Super Bowl. Oh, it changes all the time, depending.
We
I mean,
no, no.
there are obviously the countries who do
We're
better.
looking this up. We're looking this up. We're confirming the last 10 winners of the Summer Olympics. Let's check this out. I gotta know. We gotta deep dive in. Because I'm of the opinion that the United States just beats the shit out of everyone. Let's take a look here.
We're always at the top.
All right. Oh, these are fucking Winter Olympics. God damn it.
That counts too. Either way, I know you hate it, but
All right, here we go.
in
Here we go.
in the spirit
Tokyo
of
2020, United States, most gold medals. 2016, Rio, United States, most gold medals.
is it always medal count
2012,
too?
huh?
Are they also leading in medal count?
I believe so. So they have
Okay.
most in Tokyo. They have most gold, most silver, and most bronze. Rio, most gold, most silver, and most bronze. London, most gold, most silver, most
So what's the
bronze,
problem here? We get the whole world together and we still kick ass,
and we
Corey. We
just
just love
beat the
this.
shit out. So my point is very clear. Actually, the only time that China beat the United States in the Olympics was 2008 when who hosted those Olympics?
UK.
China. Yep, they had 51 gold medals. That's insane. The United States had 36 and Russia in third, 23. The United States, however, did have more silver and more bronze medals. And then 2004, 2096 is all the United States. So since 1996, other than 1 year when it is rigged, um, it's pretty
So
clear that China did this. And other than one time, the United States won. So my point, we are sport.
yeah,
What is the number one sporting event in America? The Super Bowl. So as being all that is sport, I think we get the nod here. The Super Bowl over the Olympics for sure.
yeah, but like AFC NFC championship weekend is better.
You would have think that's a bigger sporting event, a more
No, but I'm just bringing it up, but no, because I the category was what greatest.
greatest sporting event.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not no, it was like
championship.
championship, right?
Okay, greatest championship. Yeah, conference championships. While the games might be more exciting, and
No, I'm saying like that's I have to give it to the Olympics just because
okay,
it's everything, it's the
all right,
whole world,
all right. We've got the Olympics and the Masters.
and
For
I'm
what it's
sticking with the
worth,
Olympics here. I'm just saying.
what the fuck, Aaron? What the fuck?
Dude, golf is in the Olympics.
Yeah, but Olympic golf is not as big as the Masters.
They all play it.
Yeah, again, ask the golfers the question, would you rather win a gold medal or the Masters? They're probably going to say the Masters.
I don't
unless
know.
they've already done it. A
I
green
mean, yeah,
jacket
I know it's
looks
all
better than a
majors,
gold
but
medal.
I'm just saying, it's the greatest sporting event.
You and I both had the Masters here in the finals, Aaron, but the Olympics was gone. I think that it takes the World Cup for sure for me. Like it beats the World Cup. It doesn't beat the Super Bowl by far.
And again, I'm not arguing that I would watch it over
You had
some of
the
these.
did you have the Olympics over the Derby?
Yeah,
I got the Derby, man. There's
I
something
mean,
about it. There's something about it.
yeah,
Just
it's also the only one of the ones you named that features horses, and I don't
mm-mm.
know.
There's horseback riding in the Olympics.
You're right. You know what? You are correct. You know who is a horseback rider for the USA? Bruce Springsteen's daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
That sounds exactly right for somebody who's Bruce Springsteen's daughter. Like obviously it's into like who would have the opportunity to
A rich kid, yeah.
have horses at an early
Uh-huh.
age to train and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
then Bruce Springsteen's like, "But we're going to be the best at
We're gonna be the best.
it."
No expense spared. My daughter's an Olympian.
And he's an American.
No, that's good. That's good. It's good for America.
You know, speaking of the Masters though,
Okay.
John Rahm, of course, the champion from last year. So the champions dinner has been announced. I'm not sure if you've
Ooh, I didn't. I can't wait to hear
uh
this.
let me so it's Spanish themed, of course, because that's who John Rahm is. But
Yep.
to pull up the menu here,
Crunchwrap Supremes,
obviously Crunchwrap Supreme.
Fiesta potatoes.
Oh shit, hold on. All right. So for appetizers, we will be starting. I can't even read these because it's all in like Spanish.
But
So,
you're gonna try
well,
live
one
and
of the
on the
things
air.
I'm not going to read them all, but it's tapas, of course, instead of appetizers. Mama Ram's classic lentil stew
Okay.
is going to be in there. So
Is
obviously got to
she
get rid of
cooking
that.
it?
I think so. I think he's forcing her to cook back there, bring her own pots and pans
Good.
as well.
Good.
There's a creamy chicken fritter. But for the first course, it's what I don't even crab salad with potatoes. And
Okay. Like a ceviche almost?
yeah, I think so. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right.
And then there's a ribeye for dinner, or
Delicious.
I'm assuming some kind of fish with white asparagus. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It sounds good. Also, didn't know the players apparently are like they pay for it, which is funny.
That is odd.
Um,
What is the dessert, Aaron? That's the
the
important
dessert
questions.
is a strawberry, or I'm sorry, a puff pastry cake, custard, and chantilly cream. Don't know what chantilly cream is. It's apparently only
Sounds
for the
sexual.
rich. Um, really, this is just a long-winded way to get to the question. Corey, you win the Masters. It's
Ooh.
2025.
Okay.
What are you serving as the Corey James Masters Champions dinner?
It's a very good question, Aaron. It's a very, very good question. One that I'm not prepared for, but I will be. All right. I think my appetizer is going
Pete's
to
full.
be the best bruschetta I've ever had in my life. It's gonna be bruschetta. It's gonna be a bit of a. I'm gonna take you on a journey with this meal. Really, is what's gonna happen. So we're gonna start off with a nice bruschetta with a um, fire roasted heads of garlic that are just so um, warmed to perfection that you can spread the garlic like butter on nice pieces of toast. Goat pads of goat cheese with beautiful tomato basil mixture there to put on top with a little balsamic that you can do as well. So that's the appetizer. That's what we're coming in with. Um, Following that, coming into the main course, we're going to have
You typically
delicious
do a meat and a fish.
a meat and a fish.
Yeah, because it's meat or a fish, basically.
Okay, so you can allow them to decide. Um,
Or if you want to throw a veggie option, that's fine. It's usually like meat
mhm.
or.
Well, alongside all dishes will come a nice, crisp Caesar salad.
Miller Lite.
Uh, um, it's gonna be a nice, crisp Caesar salad coming in there. And then what
Yeah,
we are going to
Caesar salad.
do,
Why is
yeah,
Caesar salad so good?
it's
So
delicious.
simple, so
It's
good.
delicious. It's the crunch of the romaine.
And the crouton.
Yeah, and the Parmesan cheese with the anchovy egg yolk dressing. It's delicious. I don't know what it is. So yeah, we're gonna come in with that Caesar salad, and then what I think I'm going to do is a I'm gonna do a burger. I'm gonna do a burger with fries. Is what's gonna
But
come
like
out
such
here.
a good one.
But like yeah, just like the best cheeseburger you've ever had. It's gonna have bacon on it for sure.
Obviously.
Um,
Interesting that you go with the cheeseburger. Is there any reason behind it? Just that's your favorite.
I just think that when it comes down to it, like we can go steak, and I had steak
Right,
tonight
right.
for dinner. I
Yeah, you
love a
sent me
good.
a picture of it. Looked delicious.
It
What cut
was
was
it
it?
was a New York strip. My favorite cut
That's what
is
I
in New
thought.
York.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Is it? That's your favorite cut?
yeah, that's my favorite.
I prefer a
I
ribeye, but New York
I
strip.
just think it's got the perfect balance of just a little bit of fat around the edge to where it
Yeah.
like goes into the meat. And if you want a little bit of gristle on there, you've got it, but it's not too much, and you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
cut
I get it.
around it. It's just a nice piece of meat, and there that's what it is. Anyway, that's what she said. So it's a burger, and then I think if you were to go like on the veggies, you would just do like a portobello as a sub. You could
A
sub it like a
roasted portobello. Yeah, yeah. Oh, on the
yeah,
burger.
yeah.
You can't sub out the bacon though. Sorry.
Yeah,
No, I'm
you
just
gotta take
kidding.
that. So that would be the alternative for those that so choose, but you're not gonna want to miss this burger. Um, then I think for dessert, I would serve uh Grater's ice cream.
Ooh,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Any particular
I would offer
favorite?
3 flavors.
Okay, like that.
You could get a scoop of each. So you should you choose.
Mhm.
One would be coffee. One would be uh, black raspberry chip, and the other would just be a nice palate cleanser on their French vanilla, the standard French vanilla. So it's something nice to kind of cut the rest of them, and when it melts, it goes with it as well. It's delicious. That's what
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with.
that sounds delicious. Um,
Let's hear yours.
the good news for everybody else is after eating all of that, there will be a new Masters champion next year.
It's you.
Well, no, it won't be anyone in that room. Yeah, it's me.
And what's your
uh,
meal?
I don't, you know, I the appetizer I would probably do like a bruschetta or something like that as well. Other option I think would be like kind of like corn fritter,
Nice
pretty good.
pot
Uh,
stickers.
do love some pots because that was actually what I was thinking is because you have to theme it or do you just throw your favorite foods at
I
the
think
menu? Because
people
like
will
I was
tell you
also
you
thinking like
gotta theme
sushi
it,
and
but
pot stickers as an appetizer. That would be amazing.
ooh,
But then can you come back? I guess you could. And then
come
after
back
that,
with
you
a
probably
steak.
do
Sure.
yeah, a nice steak. I'm
Yeah.
with you on probably a strip or a ribeye, but it's a classy event. We'll probably go with the fillet because you don't want a too big of a steak.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yep.
then probably that would be served with mashed potatoes and asparagus.
Nice.
Actually, no, roasted Brussels sprouts. Definitely roasted.
Yes, my dude. Yes. What is it about Brussels sprouts? Who's telling
But
this lie?
especially when they have them like burnt, like just
Yeah, like a
partially
little
burnt.
char on them.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
A
Air
little
fryer's
bacon, a
good
little
for me too.
balsamic on there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. As a sub option um for the fish, I'd probably do like a brown sugar salmon or something.
Okay.
Probably same sides would work just as well for that.
I
Um,
concur.
and if and if there is a side salad, I'm with you, dude. Caesar,
Gotta roll
yeah,
with it.
you got to do a Caesar.
Let's get to the part
Um,
everybody wants to know about though, Aaron. What's that
the
dessert?
dessert, yeah, I'm probably gonna go with a classic, just like strawberry cheesecake.
Beautiful. Like a New
My
York style
absolute
cheesecake.
favorite. Like, yeah, it is my favorite. Cheesecake would probably be my favorite dessert.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's
But
fantastic. There's this
you need a great fruit topping. Cheesecake on its own,
oh
while
yeah.
fine, it's not the same unless you got that chilled like fruit topping on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Fat man's cottage cheese and fruit. Absolutely. It's delicious.
But
It's
I like
delicious.
graham crackers.
Dude, All right. That was a fantastic segment. Thank you very much for bringing that to the table. I had to ask you that
Now
now this go on.
no, I said now I'm hungry.
Yeah. So this might be an ignorant question.
Okay.
Forgive me. You did you have Stephen Barry's when you were a kid? Was that a spot
Yeah.
for you? Stephen
Yeah, yeah,
Barry's?
yeah. Like the college apparel store.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What the fuck happened to them?
I mean, the
Everybody
way
went
of
there
yeah, but I think it's the way of a lot of department store where that is much better suited for online and warehouse
online. Okay.
because what was sweet about Stephen Barry's is I could walk in there in Cleveland, Ohio and buy like a San Diego State
Yes.
t-shirt.
At
That
every yeah.
doesn't seem sustainable for like if you live in Cleveland and want a San Diego State shirt, fine, but we'll ship it to you.
Yeah,
It's
right.
just a lot. So if you're asking what happened to it, not to get too nitty gritty, but I assume something like that.
I think you're probably right. However, one, everybody went there and it just
I
happened.
loved it. I
It happened
still
out
have
of
a Bowling
nowhere.
Green shirt. It's disgusting. It's teared up. It's got paint stains on it, but that's what it is. It's a paint shirt.
Well, I did some research, Aaron, and this ending of Stephen Barry's is a little suspicious here. Okay.
Barry stabbed Steve.
So let me just go ahead and give some like you normally department stores you kind of see the writing on the wall as they're heading out, right? You kind of like, oh, this place is
You make
this
it
place.
sound like they killed themselves. Like
Aaron,
he was on the
Aaron,
way out. Is
Aaron,
that what happened?
they might have. Brand Week named Stephen Barry's 2007 Marketer of the Year. They were the Marketer of the Year in 2007. 2006, prior to that, they're winning awards for Entrepreneur of the Year, is what their founders were winning. This is in 2006, and then 2007, the company's on the up and up. See what's happening here as I'm reading along. New retail space, 2005, 2006, they're adding thousands and thousands, a million, 5.2 million square feet in 2007 is what they added on. They were competing with Gap, Banana Republic, Old Navy, Abercrombie and Fitch, American Eagle, PacSun as one of the top 10 builders of new square footage among all retailers, with chains like Walmart, Target, Home Depot, all these types of big companies. Okay. Amidst all of this success that was happening and expansion that was happening in 2006, one of the private equity firms closed a minority investment. Then what happened is a group of investment firms bought Stephen Barry's for $168 million in early 2008. A finance company gave them an $197 million loan. And then in July of 2008, they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
It's a wild ride.
That is fucking insane. They bought it for 168. They got a loan in 2008, early 2008, for $197 million. And then 7 months later, they're like, peace. We are fucking out. And when you file bankruptcy, all you have to do, you have to liquidate your assets at whatever they're worth, which the retail space, they're just selling all of that off, all of their buildings, all their assets, and they clear their debt, and then they're fucking gone. So all this massive expansion happens. They're like, look at all this capital that we have. We're going to take this huge fucking loan out. Dude, insane. Absolutely insane. It is crazy. Yeah, I didn't either.
I remember him, but I didn't think much about it because it's just like, yeah, department store can't keep its doors open.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely fucking crazy story. I read like 30 seconds of it, but I was just like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Nuts. So, that's what I did today.
You went down the Stephen Barry's rabbit hole?
I went down the Stephen,
Dude,
Stephen
there's
Barry's
so many
hole.
times, though, where that happens to me. The biggest one for me, where I think I spent an entire day at work just not working, and past job, don't worry. But it's just like
Did your boss watch the pod?
but I just
Just in
feel like
case.
saying it. I went down an entire rabbit hole of like looking up different Mandela effect examples.
Uh-huh.
You know the Mandela effect, right?
I'm aware of the theory.
It's so interesting to me, and I don't know why. Like, why does everybody remember a cornucopia in Fruit of the Loom, but there's no like actual evidence of it, or like there's some, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Or of
I
course
remember it.
the biggest examples are always like the Berenstain Bears.
Yep.
Um, what are some other ones?
Let's see.
Um, oh, they'll come to me. I just
Biggest. No, come
oh,
here.
Curious George. Did Curious George have a tail or not?
Did he have a tail? Yeah.
Um,
All right.
there's a bunch of
Mr.
them.
Monopoly
The Monopoly
uh
guy with the
wearing a
monocle.
monocle.
Yep.
I feel like he didn't he?
No, he didn't.
That's
But exactly, everyone remembers him wearing a monocle. Like people will do the costume with the monocle. It's like synonymous with it, even though no Monopoly logo ever has him with the monocle.
oh shit. I just had a list pulled up. Hold on. Maybe some of these other so yeah, Curious George. Snow White. Um says that Disney Snow White says, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" The line from the actual line is "Magic mirror on the wall," but
Oh,
most
there's
people
the
remember
Star
it
Wars
as
one.
"Mirror." What's the
Like,
Star Wars one?
what's the line that Darth Vader says to Luke in Empire Strikes Back? Like the big reveal.
Oh, it says, "No, I am your father."
Okay, yeah, you have it right, but a lot of people
Okay,
remember it as Luke, I am your father.
Luke, I am your father. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Mickey
There's
Mouse,
yep.
the famed Disney character, often misremembered for wearing suspenders. Instead, he wears a pair of suspenderless red shorts.
Yeah, I feel like I'd picture the suspenders.
Yeah, I think I just feel weird about just wearing a dude just shirt off walking around. But
Oh boy, you're gonna hate Donald Duck, Daffy Duck. Honestly, I hate all the ducks.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh, just airing it out.
Those are the only ones that I can really. The Berenstein Bears one, I feel like got a lot of the early traction on this Mandela effect talk.
Stein. Who knows? We all remember the books.
I got to look around my grandma's
But
house
yeah,
because
it's
she's
just
got a
funny the
couple of
things
them
that you
hanging
end
around
up
there.
just going in like rabbit holes down.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Speaking of which, another one that you could go down. We could go down this for a long time, but I'm going to limit it. I'm going to limit
Okay.
it to just 3. You can only pick 3.
Okay.
You have a time machine. You
Okay.
can go back and see 3 concerts.
Oh wow.
What 3 concerts? Doesn't have to be a specific like date of a concert, just like what bands or artists, but you can pick 3. They can be specific. You're like, I wanted to see,
Yeah.
Woodstock or whatever. Like if you wanted to say one
Woodstock.
specific concert, it could be, but you have to pick 3 concerts that you could travel back in time and see what would they be.
Man, that's so tough. That's such a great question. One that immediately sticks out to me, even though like the Beatles aren't my favorite, but like
Mm.
the one where they played on top of that building, which is like their last show, or was like on top of the hotel. Like you,
I
I'm
think
sure
yeah.
seen like iconic pictures of it
Yep.
countless times. Like you said, Woodstock. I don't know Woodstock. I don't know if I'd want to go to Woodstock. Um, but also it's like, why wouldn't you?
Just to say
Um,
you've been there.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
I don't know if I could pick that
Again,
though.
it doesn't have to be necessarily a band. It could be like, I wish I would have seen this band,
Yeah, I mean, I'll always say Rage Against the Machine, like especially in the prime of like when they
like
were
the mid
coming up.
'90s and shit.
Yeah, like that would have been incredible. Um, and then probably
It's
God, that's such a
tough.
good question.
It's tough.
Yeah, it really
It's
is.
tough to narrow it down to 3. I
Yeah.
think one of mine for sure would have to be Led Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Like in the heyday, like I think I would have that would have to be one, just
And
because.
I almost said, not that they're the same, but they're always paired with each other. I almost said Floyd during like Dark
Mm,
Side tour.
sure.
Like that would have
Yeah.
been incredible.
Yeah,
But
I
then again,
think
like how cool would it have been to be like I saw Nirvana or
right.
like, just I'm trying to think of other or Hendrix or
Mhm.
um
That's kind of why I went the Bon or obviously John Bonham and stuff. That's why kind of why the Zeppelin route was there. And it's also why another one I think Queen would have been a pretty sick show.
yeah. Yeah, I like Queen, but if I only have 3, I
Yeah.
just couldn't do that.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I think I'm just when I went through I was thinking about what is going to be like like the most fun time. Like what am I going to just enjoy the most? I think is going to be the
Right.
best show.
Right.
And one that kept coming up for me was the Beastie Boys.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. I think that
That
would
would have been a
be
lot of fun.
yes. Yes.
Okay, I like that. I'm trying to think of other ones.
Um Rage came up for me as well. Thinking about that. AC/DC probably would be cool. Like back when they were the
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, that could have been
Um
fun.
um Pearl Jam. I think
So
Pearl
the other thing, and I'm thinking when I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking in more of like places in time because like there was the one
Me too.
time
Me too.
when
I'm
it
thinking
was
about
like
like mid '90s Pearl Jam kind of
yeah,
thing.
like
Yeah,
there
yeah,
was the time it was like Foo Fighters, Chili Peppers, and like Pearl Jam on like the bottom of a fucking like in a bar
yeah,
basically.
yeah,
Like how
yeah,
cool would that have been? Just been like, yeah, I was there. Like
yeah.
I'm thinking bands before they like break,
Like
Like
when
how cool would it be to be like,
we paid like $30 to see Portugal the Man in Cleveland.
yeah, right,
Yeah,
right. They weren't really well known.
yeah,
That's always really cool.
yeah. Those are the best. So yeah, I thought
I have that
again
more with comics now because I feel like I see more comics than I do. Well, that's probably similar,
like
but
Mitch would have been great.
yeah, I would have loved to see Mitch Hedberg. That would have been great. I would love to see Carlin.
Yeah,
Um, I mean, there's a lot.
Richard Pryor.
Pryor would have been sweet.
Yeah, That's a big one. I think like going back to like guys that are not necessarily in their prime anymore, but like seeing prime like Lewis Black or like
I got to see him in like when I was in high school.
that's a good.
Me and my sister went. Yeah, it was sweet. But he
I
was,
think
at Playhouse Square, so it was still like a big.
David Tell
I've seen it
and
tell.
and when
Like 3 years ago.
yeah, I'm talking like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
2002.
But what's cool is he still does the clubs.
Yeah, yeah,
So like I saw him at
and the skill, the
Hilarity.
chops are still there. I think
Right.
another one going back in time. I think going and seeing Chappelle
Yeah,
in the heat of it all would have been fucking nuts.
that would have been awesome.
Um, I think honestly, a guy that as I say this, no, I don't want a time machine. I want to see him right now. Is Ron White? I still think he is one of
I
the
think he's
fun.
very underrated because
He's
he
so
got tied in with the
funny.
like what
The
was
blue
it?
collar comedy
Blue
tour.
collar, which
Yeah.
was all shticky, which is
Yep.
fine. But like
Yep.
Ron White is a very polished, good stand up comedian
Yes.
that didn't need the shtick.
Neither did
He
Jeff
fit
Foxworthy,
in
to
it.
be honest with you.
Yeah, but he still had the like, here's your sign, you know?
No, that's Bill Engvall.
Or I mean, not, no, you might be a redneck.
Yeah, he did have the shtick. You're right. You're right. And obviously, Larry the Cable Guy had Get Her Done,
Right.
and they tried to. I mean, the tater
Right.
salad that
They
was
could,
Ron
yeah.
White's little bit there. But I think the fact that there's only one of those guys that are still, I would consider in that little comedy circle, at least in
Yeah.
Austin, that exists right now. Like Ron White is still there and is still, everybody renounces him as one of the funniest guys around because he is. He's fucking hilarious. Um,
Yeah, he
the
is.
best, like one of the best cadences, I think, in stand up comedy. I absolutely love it. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
it's phenomenal. And
Trying to think of like other guys that I wish I had a time machine so I could go back and see Louis before I knew. I think that would
yeah,
be because
yeah, I find
honestly,
myself
like
just in general just thinking of just seeing people before they broke, which would have been awesome.
just like cutting it up at a club.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, work. Yeah, that'd be good. Which begs the question, like, how often do you go to just like a comedy club?
I go a good amount. We have a great. I would love to take you, honestly.
Okay,
We have
it's a date.
Cleveland has one of the, uh, for my money, and I hear comics talk about it all the time, like one of the best clubs.
Okay,
It's on East Force, which is like the night, the brick paved street with the bistro lights.
yeah,
It's in the basement of
it's where I
Pickwick and
saw Terry Francona on his moped.
yeah, yeah. It's in the basement of Pickwick and Frolic, and it's just amazing. So we go a good amount. It's a fun date night. We just saw Dan Soder there a couple weeks
Oh,
ago.
cool,
But even recent, like we saw Big J Okerson not too long ago.
nice.
I've seen
Do
Attell
you ever
there.
go when you don't really know the act?
Occasionally, we saw Rory Scovel there,
Okay,
which was cool because it was just one of those things like you can like sign your name and they say like to win tickets. It's really just unfortunately when they haven't sold the shows out,
yeah,
and so like that was one where it was like, yeah, we got nothing else going on. Let's go to the
buy a couple of
show.
drinks.
Yeah, and it's a 2 drink minimum. That's your only
Yeah,
obligation. It's fine. So that was sweet, and he was great.
yeah.
And I think I saw the brothers like that too. But yeah, I mean, I've gone to a lot. I've seen Michael Che there. I've seen Jay Farrell there.
Oh, nice,
Segura, Shafir, um, a lot of them.
nice.
It's a great venue. So next time you're in Cleveland,
Yeah, we got to do it, man. I
or
need.
honestly,
I
just
actually, I've been to maybe 3 stand-up shows in my life.
they're so much fun.
I need to go to more because I'm a huge stand-up
Yeah.
fan, like
Oh
comedy
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Like that's every podcast I listen to is stand-up guys.
It's great because it's always new material to you.
Yeah,
Um, you're in like a room with other, obviously there can be times where people can be obnoxious, but the club does a great job of getting them out of there if they are.
yeah,
Like it's a comedy club first, which is cool.
yeah,
And it's great. Like I love it. And it's not like a chain either. Because there's like, they have like the Funny Bones and
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
stuff like
Laugh Factory and shit.
yeah, right.
Yeah. There's one right up the road from me. We haven't been. Katie and I have talked about going, but it's like a hole in the wall, just on
I'm
the
sure
like
Detroit has
expressway.
you know,
Oh no, I'm
a
sure. We
main one
just
that everyone comes
it's just
through.
not convenient. It's
And
not
then like the
convenient to go
bigger
down to
acts,
Detroit.
like yeah, I saw Mark not this wasn't at Hilarities, but I saw Mark Norman recently.
Was that fucking hilarious?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, he's
Um,
funny as shit.
and then the comics that are like too big to play like the clubs. We have Playoff Square, which is great. So I saw Mulaney, Bill Burr, saw
Nice.
Lewis Black, like I said, way back in the day. But yeah, dude. It's nice. We actually get like most all the big touring people come through here, partly because we do have a pretty good comedy scene, or like a nice club.
Oh, that's sweet. I gotta check him out more. That's for sure. That's for sure. Um, one thing. Speaking of jokes, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. Have you seen this shit?
I've seen that they're gonna box on Netflix. How old is Tyson now? In his 60s?
57.
Okay, so close.
He's 57
I mean,
years
don't get me
old.
wrong. I would not want to be on the other side of a right hook from Big Mike, but
I think if I saw correctly, Jake Paul gets to wear headgear, which immediately made me lose interest.
yeah, that's silly.
What are we doing?
That's not boxing.
What are we doing? Why are we doing this?
Money.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. But like, I still think, like, is it possible to get knocked out if you have headgear on?
I'm sure it is.
right? Like you can still get hit hard enough. Is it possible to be knocked out with headgear on?
Yeah, of course it is. It's possible to get knocked out with a helmet on.
It provides limited protection against knockouts. Studies claim headgear reduces the risk of concussions while boxing, but there are just as many that say otherwise. For now, consensus among fighters is that headgear doesn't provide significant protection against the force of strikes.
All right, Corey's back in.
So what's the point?
I'm,
Yeah, what's the point?
I don't know.
The people that think Jake Paul stands any fucking chance against Mike Tyson are people that are going to buy a bridge from me. Okay.
I don't follow it enough, but I mean, Mike Tyson's also 57.
I don't either. I don't either. All I know is that motherfucker would destroy anyone. I think 57, yeah, sure, like he's going to get tired, but he's training and I've watched videos of it. He looks terrifying. And yes, those are 30-second clips. Boxing matches are 12 rounds long. I get all the things. He just hits different. Yeah. And I'm so convinced at this point that I'm not accepting any other result as legitimate. At this point, I'm Donald Trumping this fight. Like, if Mike Tyson doesn't win, I automatically am going to think it's rigged. Like, I'm just not buying it. I'm not buying it at all. There's no fucking way. There's no way. It's just they're not the same type of human being. He's terrifying.
Yeah, again, I hope Mike Tyson wins too, because
so we had this discussion about a year ago, and I'm going to bring it back. If you could fight one celebrity, and who would it be? If you could box, we'll say box. Fighting is nasty. Box, it's organized. There's sport. There's an official. If you could box against one celebrity, who would it be? And there's a couple of different ways you can go. Who would be a good fight? Who would be a good challenge? Who is somebody that you don't
who
like?
would just feel good to punch in the face?
Who would feel good to punch in the face? Who do you think you can beat? There's a lot of different things that you don't want to get up there and lose. There are a lot of different things you got to factor in. But what celebrity would you want to box?
Man, I don't know.
It's tough, right?
Because immediately I'm like, my head goes to like, I just want to punch Tucker Carlson in the face.
That would be, oh, dude, that's a good one. He's a pretentious douchebag. Yeah. Regardless, no politics involved whatsoever. He's just a douche.
He's just a douche.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you. I wouldn't be able to beat him, but I kind of feel that way about Patrick Mahomes.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. He'd probably take us down.
Yeah, he'd beat the shit out of me. Yeah, no question.
No question there.
You got to think.
Really... Yeah, because that's the other thing is it's got to be somebody you can beat, and like they're all in better shape than I am.
Yeah, you gotta be able to beat him.
And I got no beef with Michael Cera.
No, but you could take him. You can take him. With McLovin, take him down.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yeah, it'd be sad, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't. You would need to want to fight them as part of it.
You would. It's got to be baked into it. I'm trying to think. Like athletes, it's just like you got to go old athletes, and at that point again, you're
now
approaching
you're
sad.
An old man.
Right. Exactly. It's tough. So then I think about politicians. You know, I got him. Okay. I don't want to get political. I was going to say Abraham Lincoln, but I decided not to.
Obviously, yeah. Our following is a big Lincoln crowd, so I'm glad you can refrain.
Yeah, I had to hold off on that one. God damn it. It's tough.
Yeah.
You know, okay, Mark Zuckerberg, 100%. Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, or Elon Musk would be another good one. I would love
another good one.
Elon Musk.
I'm sick of Elon. I'm just sick of.
Dude, he's so annoying.
I'm just sick of seeing him at all.
God,
ever.
Pretentious douchebag.
If he's really smart, great.
Cool.
He seems like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like
well, he's a billionaire. Don't care.
Very successful. He's very intelligent. He knows what he's talking about. He's protecting free speech. As we stream this podcast on his platform. But
which
fuck
he
that
could
guy, dude.
restrict if he wanted to.
Yeah, do it, pussy. Fuck him.
We just immediately
It goes on. Our Twitter feed is down. Our Twitter, no, yeah, fuck that guy. Honestly, he's just a douchebag. Yeah, just not
Oh,
like
I got
I'm.
one. I got one.
Okay, all right. What you got?
And this is definitely beats up old man, but I don't really care.
All right.
Jim Cramer.
Oh, good one. Yeah, yeah, dude. Fuck that guy.
Oh God.
Just
Have
people
you
that
seen
there is.
The Jon Stewart teardown of him?
No, I haven't. But there are just
Oh,
certain people like him and Elon that just you just wouldn't want to have a beer with them. Like
no.
the last person you'd want to have a beer with him. What did Jon Stewart do?
He just like went on his show and was like, "What you're doing here is terrible." Like he's like, "You're flashing lights like this is a fucking casino." Like it's awesome. Like that's the gist of it. And of
Oh,
course,
that's
Jim Cramer's
good.
like, "Well, we're just we're just trying to help people make money."
Yeah.
Or like Dr. Oz, I'd love to sock right in the mouth.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, just a lot of loud people, I think,
Yeah.
mostly. A lot of loud people. The owner for the Panthers,
Ooh, that'd be fun.
David Tepper, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, he deserves to get hit
If
in the
there was no
face.
consequences, absolutely.
Well, yeah, it's boxing. It's sanctioned. They agree to it. They
Right.
step in the
Yeah,
ring. You
that's
both
true.
get 3 months to train. All these things are givens. It's boxing.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I got one other thing, but we're kind of going over here. Do we want to keep going, or what do we want to do?
How timely is it?
It how much time is it going to take?
No, like how relevant is it to now?
Yeah, it's pretty
Like,
relevant. I
okay,
mean,
go.
it's going to be relevant for the next like 3 months or so, but like it just happened. Justin Fields going to the Steelers. It happened since we last talked,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously. Um, I mean, there's one person in Rally Top Sports who seems to think that this is putting the Steelers over the hurdle in terms of having one of the best free agencies in the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, he can believe that.
So you're along the lines this doesn't move the needle for you,
I don't think it raises their win total dramatically. Only one of these guys is going to play.
right?
So bringing in both of them doesn't really do much for me because only one of them
Right?
is going to be on the field.
Right?
And I don't know, and it's a problem that I don't know which one. It seems like it's going to be Russell,
That's what they
but
came out and have said. Apparently, they've made this
I
clear
don't
that
know why.
thank you.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, why
And
are
for the
you
Steelers, I think they were content going into the season with Russell, and the price was just so low to get
Yes.
Fields that it was like, I mean, why wouldn't we do this? Bring in
I
the asset,
Yeah, I
buying
agree
low.
100%. My problem with the whole situation is why are you committing to Russell at this point? You've committed to him financially almost nothing in
Right.
comparison to the rest of your roster. Why are you giving him the keys in mid-March?
Yeah, you could cut him tomorrow and not even sweat a fart on it.
Not
Like
feel
you'd be like,
anything
yeah, yeah,
at
you'd be like,
all.
yeah, man, done. We just lost $1,000,000. That's nothing.
You're already paying Justin Fields more. You've already invested more draft picks in Justin Fields than you have Russell. Why the need to make him the starter here is just insane. He's not better by any leaps and bounds, I don't think. Do you?
No, it was interesting though. I think I saw some stat where it's like Russell and Fields were like last in the league in like interceptions and fumbles
They
combined.
take care of the football.
Yeah, right. Like they do not take care of the football.
They do not take care of the. Okay, I'm
Combined, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um well, that's an interesting fucking I mean is that's nice. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, that's what like they won games last year with Pickett and Rudolph.
Yep.
Fine.
They are better at quarterback. They're better at
They're
quarterback.
better at quarterback, but are they better by a win? Maybe.
Right. how many wins is that one person worth to your roster? That's good. Yeah. I mean, you could make the. I'm sure. What just playing devil's advocate. I don't believe this, but playing devil's advocate. Well, if there are so many games that we lost because our quarterback play wasn't, better. Right. I just don't know how much better. Like Russell Wilson isn't going to get better.
I believe there is a big leap from Kenny Pickett to either or Wilson Fields, distance wise, like talent wise. I just don't think the number of quarterback you went up is that much. Does that make
So
sense?
you're just saying Pickett is just that
Yeah,
bad.
you just went from 26 to 24.
Right. But the gap of talent is wide, but
right. While
there's
the gap
still
of talent is
there's
wide,
still 20 quarterbacks that are better than you, at least.
Exactly.
That's a good point. Because I think you're probably right.
That's
and
where
the number might even be higher at this point.
I don't know. Wilson just got cut for the highest dead cap ever.
Yeah.
So like, it's not really a glowing endorsement on his behalf.
Twice, actually.
Right.
Not the twice that it was the highest, but.
And the interesting thing is Russell Wilson was most effective when he was the quarterback who wasn't eating up a lot of your cap. That was at the beginning of his career.
Yeah.
So
one of the best defenses in the history of football.
So I get, like, don't get me wrong, like he's a Super Bowl winning champion. He's been in 2 Super Bowls.
Nope.
But he's just not that guy anymore. And then Justin Fields obviously has the potential, but he hasn't really been able to see it. I will say I don't love that Fields ended up on the Steelers, but I'm still not overly concerned about it from a, this scares the living daylight out of me. And again, part of it is just, all right, let's sit down and talk. What number did they really improve from quarterback? I get the excitement because you now have better quarterbacks in the room.
Yeah.
But I can still name so many more. It's just you had like the worst quarterback last year, but you still managed to win games, and they always do. But is this going to be a 12-win Steelers team? No.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, we'll see how it all plays out. Football is the draft's coming up here in just a couple weeks, but we got some fun March Madness getting off tomorrow. Should be fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, should be tight. Productivity is going to go down across the United States of America.
I bet a lot of unders.
Yeah, first round unders. You're profitable if you bet every first round under.
Yeah, I bet a lot of them.
Yeah, I like it. So
cool, man. Be working hard tomorrow.
Attaboy. Getting after it. Bring that bacon home, baby. All right, let's get the fuck out of here, man.
All right, dude.
All right. Thanks, everybody. See you later.